like, I don't know if it's racist, but it's like very Charlie Brown, Kwanzaa, look it up. And then the dirty cut Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is amazing. And I love sending those out and really ruining people's Christmas.
I think we're learning a lot about you, Brian, this recording. If you have to say, I don't know if it's racist, but chances are it's racist.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm not racist. Like, I feel like I'm one of those people that just doesn't give a fuck. Like, I'm not trying to say like I don't have sensitivities, and I understand everybody has their own challenges and plights and all that kind of stuff, but I hate everybody fairly equally.
The universe.
Yeah, the whole universe. Like, humans in general just you know. So like, I find stereotypes hilarious. Like, I'm a very Mel Brooks person. Like, I love stereotypes and I love laughing at people and I love that kind of stuff. I don't want to hurt people. That's not my goal. But I think that as humans, we need to start realizing that, you know, the funny things are funny and you can't just worry about everybody's feelings so much. I mean, like, if you fall into that stereotype and you're living that stereotype and somebody points it out to you, then fucking own it and be okay with people laughing at you for that stereotype. I'm a white bald guy.
I don't want to support you too heavily, but I'm going to support you a little bit in this. And when I say being outside of the United States for 2 years now, going back to visit or talking to friends that live there that come back over to Holland to visit, I feel that it's become very sensitive and the PC community is really taken off to an obnoxious level. And living in Europe, like, that just doesn't exist the same way. I say it doesn't exist at all. It just doesn't exist the same way. And the sensitivities are very different, and what they're sensitive around are actually real fucking things that happen, like World War II. Like, you can't reference things the same way you can reference them in America, because in America it didn't happen. It happened here, and that's what they're sensitive about, because it's real things that actually happened. As where I feel in America, according to all my friends back home and just a light experience of going home, there's just things people are getting upset about that don't make sense to get upset about, or are just, it's just a great.
Well, Mel Brooks was such an amazing person, because I mean, he didn't make fun of the Holocaust, but he brought humor to stereotypes, and obviously it was a different time. But the fact that you can't watch Blazing Saddles today without feeling, you feel embarrassed. Like, we've gone way too far. And one of his points is the politically correct spectrum is like a rubber band. You pull it so far, it's going to snap back. And when it snaps back, you're going to end up with, you know, fucking things like, I don't want to get political, but like our president, stuff like that. You're going to get this overreaction instead of a human reaction. We should care about the homeless. We should absolutely care about people in need. We should absolutely care about diseases and famine and these types of things. But we're so busy caring about, you know, this dude's dick coming out of the pool, how offensive it is, that we can't focus on things that actually need to have our care.
Right.
You know, so
how we're spending our energy as a human race is disappointing a lot of the time. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of misusing my energy, but I think it's very interesting how the world has changed.
Okay. Well, if you are on social media, you can follow us on It Got Weird Pod on IG, Twitter, Facebook. You could tell a friend. If you are just finding us, tell a friend. If you're just finding us in the wintertime, this is episode 39, but our holiday earlier episodes are quite funny. Grandma's Couch was a good one. I think that's episode 6.
Yeah.
And they highlighted that story on My Worst Date last week.
Oh, nice.
And I got the feeling of that train wreck story by listening to someone else tell it, and it was amazing. So you can check ours out, and then you can also go listen to the girls over there talk about that on their podcast as well, and we'll share links to all of those. So I am getting older. We started the podcast kind of because my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I kind of just it it was one of those things where if I got it, I wanted my daughter to have kind of a library of fun stories to where she could kind of go back to. So the time it came for me to get my first mammogram, and went to an annual appointment, and I walk into the doctor's office, and the lady, I go, can I use the restroom? And she goes, I was like, okay. She's like, do you have any itching, burning, or anything going on?
I'm like, get out of here.
No. And she's like, then I think you can use the restroom. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, if you did, they'd want to take a urine sample. I'm like, got it. Okay.
Interesting for a receptionist.
Yeah. So then I go back into the doctor's office, and the nurse is basically telling you how to put here's the thing for your top, here's the thing for your bottom, have a seat. And she goes, do you need a towel? And I kind of looked at her like, what? Because they have that paper thing on the thing.
Oh, okay.
The paper thing on the...
Yeah. It goes over the seating thing. Yeah.
And I looked at it, I was like, a towel? She's like, yeah. Are you experiencing any like drippy, leaky fluid thing? And I'm like, no.
Get out of here. Stop asking me questions. Leave. I'm not going to handle that shit well. No.
She was like, okay, yeah, then you can just sit down. I'm like, okay, obviously I'm feeling good about myself right now. So,
did it make you question if she asked every woman that, and if they were honest and they sat on that paper and it leaked through and they didn't clean it right and then it's still sitting there? Did you think about that? Because I would have thought about that.
I did. I stood for a while before, and I examined the area that I was going to be sitting on.
Good call.
I was like, okay, let me just look. All right. And then I wrapped the thing around me like quite a bit before I sat down. But
good call.
All that was good. Had to do that before I went to go get my mammogram, and go to the mammogram. Best thing first is you change, and in your locker they've got the thing you're gonna wear, and they have a little thing of Dove chocolate.
Oh, that's nice.
Like on it. I'm like, what a great idea. A parting gift.
Do they have have a towel folded up like a swan too or something?
It wouldn't have surprised me. But here's the
chocolate. You're about to be in pain.
Yes. So it's my first one that I've ever had. And ladies, if you're 35 or older, probably not a bad idea. Go get them checked out. And the lady's like, it's not as bad as everyone says. So there's a little bit of truth into that. Whenever someone tells me things are awful, I think they're just being dramatic. So I really don't listen to them.
I'm the opposite.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I'm the total opposite of that. I assume it's going to be life-breaking experience when someone tells me something is awful.
I was like, oh, these are just people that don't want someone playing with their boobs and are uncomfortable with it. So I'm like, I'm fine. Just here, take the right one, take the left one, get all of it. So they put you in this thing, and it's obviously pressing, and it's fine. But then once you get to the pressed part, there's like an eighth of an inch that the machine, like you press it, and then there's an eighth of an inch click that auto does that. Like she walks away, and there's an extra little that the machine gives you, and you're like,
is it like whenever you get into the ride at the amusement park and they snap you into the thing, but then it snaps back even further?
Yes, it's just like that, but with your tits. So imagine that with your balls.
Ooh, wait a minute. You just made it real.
Yes. So I will say this. She does share my birthday, but she said that she was much older than me. I was like, oh, you're amazing. She's like, don't be upset if we have to call you back to look, because you have such young tissue and your breasts are so young. I have young tissue.
You are so proud of yourself.
I know
right
that
now.
face.
Like, I wish our listeners could see that face of yours, because you're like, yes, I have young tissuey tits. What does that mean?
No.
What does that mean? Did you?
I don't know, but I loved it. Well, no, I was
Cassie
happy.
looks excited too. She's like, "Yay!"
It sounds good. I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad thing.
I wanted to take her home with me. I was like,
"You're the best. Let me adopt you."
I mean, I took that all the way to Change and get my little Dove bar. Which, by the way, Dove, if you'd like to sponsor us, hit us up at itgotweirdpod@gmail.com. And I just kept thinking, I was walking out of there. I'm like, I don't even have to care if I have to come back here. She just said, I've got young tissue.
Young tissue. The new compliment.
I think Ginny got played.
You think so?
I think it was to avoid all the other questions of like, well, did you see anything or what do you know? Like she was just avoiding all the other like follow-up questions that people have after they get their breast sandwich done.
I've never been in this situation, so I don't know. I've never been there, so
here's the thing. This is the part where we're kind of to speak on that is she does say, I don't look at anything. I don't give the results. You're going to be contacted later. You'll either get a letter in the mail saying your boobs look fine. I'm like, thank you. Or
hate the mail. In the mail.
We'll get a call that we need to come and see you. But like 80% of, girls with such young tissue have to come back for a second.
She just keeps bringing that up.
I know.
For young a second viewing. And so she's like, don't be upset if you have to come back. I'm like, I'm not going to be upset at all. This is great. So it's kind of like when you miscarry at one of the hospitals here. We had one miscarriage and then we had another scare, and we went to see the chick did a ultrasound at the hospital, and the first time she's like, I can't tell you if I see anything. I'm just going to do the ultrasound, and then the doctor's going to come in, look at the stuff, and he's going to have he's going to be able to tell you. So I'm like, okay, great. The second time when we almost miscarried, same chick, she's looking. And she's like, oh, here's a heartbeat. You want to see the baby's heartbeat? I'm like, oh, got it. You just can't tell me if it's bad news.
Yeah.
But if it's great news, you're fine. So when she said, I can't tell you, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be called back.
Yeah. It's like that second opinion almost, right? Like, okay, I think I see something, but we need to double check with someone that's more qualified. And then we'll mail you a letter, which I fucking hate, by the way, when people mail me letters. Stop doing things by the mail. I don't get my mail. Stop mailing me shit. I hate it. I hate it so much. Email me. I'll respond to that. Text me. I'll respond.
Or hit us up on Instagram with those. No, you can't do that. There's like medical things.
There's a HIPAA regulations, but you can email. Like you can go into a confidential portal, and look at your medical files there with multi-factor authentication. But you can't. But you can mail it to my house.
Nerd.
Guilty. I'm secure though. I don't know. But anyone can steal my mail. Like that's.
Yeah, mail is literally probably the least secure option.
It is. Anyway, sorry, Jenny. I just hate people mail shit. That's
no,
not
you're
a letter
fine.
you get.
Oh yeah, we just took a conversation about so the assistants can tell you anything good that they feel like they can tell you, but nothing else.
I think in an ultrasound situation, I think they can. In this situation, I haven't gotten my letter yet, but I also haven't gotten a call. I definitely thought they'd want to see this youthful tissue again, but they haven't called me yet. So.
God.
But I'm going to see her again.
I'm trying to equate the ego aspect of this to the male kind of side, and I cannot figure. I mean, I can't. If I went in to have my balls checked or something, and the doctor goes,
"Yeah, when you have your prostate checked."
No, nobody sees your prostate. But it's not the same equivalent of your boobs.
Does it feel youthful?
I don't know what. There's no
There's a way to find out.
You're judging your boobs against the world. Nobody's judging my prostate against the world.
You don't know that.
You don't know that. Yeah.
Well, if a doctor reached down and grabbed my balls and goes, "Wow, these are just really young balls that you've got here," I think I might punch the fucker.
You would? I don't think you would.
I don't know. I'd be very awkward at that moment. I probably would say thank you and please let go of my balls.
Yeah,
that seems more reasonable. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have balls.
So, ladies, have your ladies checked.
I don't look forward to that day at all.
No, but I mean, it's a big deal. So
I avoid the doctor at all